Okay, this video will be the last warning that I make to the Hebrews and also to any of the Christian followers that I still have. I want you Hebrews to understand. I know that my messages come through and sometimes they're a little raw, and I know that they're offending, but I want you to ultimately understand that my initial purpose and my initial mission is based on unity and love. Despite the fact that some of you are completely upset and mad because I'm telling you things that you probably never heard before. At the end of the day, my mission is about love, and it's to wake you up, because I'm really concerned for you as a whole. I'm concerned for your families, all of you that are in this false religion and you can't see it, and you guys argue all day, and I'm trying to show you who the creators of the Bible are and who's speaking through those Bibles. You'll notice that there are several different entities speaking at once, and the reason why you see several different entities is because there's many different entities that's vying for you, for your blood and your worship. So they'll extract energy from you while you're living, and then they'll heal you and extract your life source, which is your blood, your DNA. So I just want you to pay attention to this video. I'll come back in after you watched a few minutes of this video that breaks it down and explains that Hebrew was actually created. There is no true bloodline, and I've also shown you that Abraham was not a true Hebrew. There is no bloodline going back to your father Abraham. He was a Sumerian. From Sumar, he had connections to the Anunnaki. And if you do your research, you'll see that. So please stay tuned and pay attention to what they say in this video. I'm also going to provide a link at the end of the video where you'll be able to go and watch the entire thing. You'll see where the gentleman who speaks in the video tells you about Yaldabaoth and the archons. Okay? Please pay attention. Please do your research. Don't be so arrogant as to think that you have all the answers. Don't be so arrogant as to think that you are the chosen people and that you're better than everyone else. Don't be so arrogant to think that you don't have to go and research and that you have the truth. You do not. You have a lie. So again, this message is coming to you in love, peace, and unity. And I pray that you find some type of enlightenment. At least let me plant a seed so that you can go ahead and start researching and dig and find out the truth on your own. Peace and blessings, family.
Early religions. Babylon. Blood. The chosen people of the sun. Through fear and guilt, the rulers of Babylon manipulated their subjects to worship the one true God, who had an insatiable appetite for bloody sacrifice. Later on in Egypt, the Hebrew people, who were Egyptians, were fabricated to assume the role of the chosen people, and were used and abused, as they used and abused other nations, to establish this chosen people propaganda. The predecessors of ancient Babylon, Egypt, and the Israelite nation was the Kabbalistic knowledge of the elite Cabal mindset, which knew firsthand how to manipulate matter, one molecule at a time. The paradise state had never experienced the illusion, disconnecting them from the all-knowing state of wisdom. This elite mindset knew this, and being not at all concerned with the matter of lying, conjured forth the systems needed to perpetuate this deception. The magicians who received this knowledge and appeared as wise men would eventually, many centuries later, become known as the Hebrews. These Hebrews were the Egyptians of centuries past, and ultimately became known as the Israelites. These future Israelites formed a portion of humanity who would be used and manipulated and abused beyond belief by their leader rulers. In turn, the Hebrew nation was used to shed blood and destruction, all in the name of God. Being that the masses of humanity have been imprisoned in a total hypnotic trance state, they would still continue to worship the God of the Jews in spite of this massive bloodletting. Even today, many Jewish people still practice Kabbalism as part of their faith. However, it's not only in Judaism that one sees the Kabbalistic principles applied. Kabbalism is sun god or light worship. Christianity is also Kabbalism, as is Islam and every form of religion in the world, including atheism. Different names, rituals, and holy days have been applied, but the worship of a supreme being, the light, is the ultimate dogma. That supreme being is the light-bringer, Luciferian egregore, the conjuring group creator, who in turn are the Kabbalistic group of thinking entities. Archaeologists experts have found no evidence of Hebrew Jews ever living as slaves in Egypt or of their exodus out of Egypt. The Old Testament carefully covered links between the Pharaoh's characters and the Bible characters. They mixed historical facts with myths and legends. The Abraham character was based on Amenemhet, the Egyptian pharaoh. The Hebrews were not a race of people as once thought. They were a Semitic and Asiatic class of foreign workers who migrated into Egypt from neighboring lands to find work as craftsmen and builders. As their population exceeded over hundreds of years, they contributed to Egyptian technology, worship Egyptian gods, and intermarry into Egyptian nobility. They worshipped Egyptian gods and violated Hebrew laws to keep the secret even from their fellow Hebrews. They secretly ruled Egypt. So, why did the Hebrew authors of the Bible mix facts with fairy tale myths in the Bible? So they can hide the fact that the ancient Egyptians and Hebrews shared the same royal bloodlines.
I told you, same people.
The Hebrew Hyksos kings out of Egypt.
Okay, I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to turn it down because this is like the last message that I've been told to bring to the Hebrews. You all don't know who I am. You don't know what I am. But I know that a lot of you listen to my post or read my posts and listen to my posts. And a lot of you oppose my posts. You notice that lately my message has turned to the Hebrews, as I was once a Hebrew. But I had to come out of that deception. I was shown different. A lot of people can't see what I see. You know, I'm just here to bring you a message because you've been brought up on the lie. You've seen the lie and you haven't seen the truth yet. So my mission was to show you the truth because you have to see both. You know, this is like a spiritual or a spiritual law where you have to have the truth in front of you as well as the lie, and then it's up to you to make the decision. It's a lot of people that's coming against me, people making videos, people whispering in people's ears saying don't listen to her, she don't believe in the Old Testament. Well, I sure don't. I don't believe in any of it. So run tell that. I don't believe in any of your Bible because your Bible was written by Yaldabaoth and the Archons. If you look at this particular video and back it up a little bit, you will understand about how this whole thing is a hoax. It's an illusion. I keep telling the Hebrews that you are being deceived. You're being deceived based on ego. You were greater than that from the beginning. And a being told you that you were a chosen people and drew you away from your purpose, drew you away from your true origin, and has plans to eat you, has plans to devour you because of your God particle, because of your melanin. This particular video doesn't go all into that from a melanated being perspective, but I want you to understand that the whole finding your tribe and finding out if you're true Hebrew and going and taking all these DNA tests is nothing but a trap. There are some melanated beings that carry what is called a God particle. These archons have been looking for this God particle because it helps them. It's going to help them to live longer. It's going to help them sustain their species longer. So what they did was they put this fake Hebrew thing out there, had you guys running around, because they knew one day you was going to wake up. So they have you running around taking these DNA tests and all of this. They know it's a hoax. There's no Hebrew. There is no Hebrew. They made you guys up. I woke up knowing that information. I woke up out of my sleep one day and said, Zion is a trap. It's a trap for you guys. They're going to lure you away with silver and gold. I hear you guys. I mean, and don't get me wrong, at one point in time, before I was shown the truth, I just knew that that was the truth. We were waking up and this was what we deserved and all of that. It is a trap. So again, you can say what you want to say. People can mock me, ridicule, however you want to do it. Again, like I said, I was sent here to bring you a message so that you're able to see the truth. Once you see both, you can make the decision whether you want to go ahead and research it further and find out. But I'm here to tell you that this Dark Cabal has it all set up in order to capture you and kill you. Now, I did this same thing with the Christians. I was sent to them. I guess you can say I had to become them, and then I had to come up out of the deception and see it for what it was worth. I was given eyes to see how that was ran. The Christians also, they got a plan for them too. And I brought this message to them. I had tons of Christian friends, and I ended up losing every single one of them, I believe. And again, I'm just here to bring the message and show you the truth. In Revelation 19:17, if you read it, there's something that's going to occur called the Supper of the Great God. I flow in and out of the prophetic, and in the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, I believe I made a post where I was giving information that the Christians that's waiting on the rapture, you're going to be fooled. You're going to see Jesus, your Jesus. You're going to see a cloud. You're going to think you're going to be taken up into a cloud, but you're not. That cloud will be a ship. On that ship is going to be archons and Dracos. You have to understand what's going on in your scriptures. It's not just one set of entities that's vying for your God particle, your elixir of life, but it's several different entities or beings that's vying for you because they need you in order to live. Their lifespan is very short. So these Christians gonna think they're going up in a cloud with Jesus, and when they get on these ships, it's gonna be hell. Read it. Go read the scripture. Again, Revelation 19:17. You're gonna see where it says the fowls of the air. The fowls of the air is nothing more than the Dracos or the reptilians. No, there's different types of reptilians, but the Dracos are at the top. They're the most vicious ones, but they all have an appetite for blood. They all have an appetite for flesh, which we are born to be vegetarians. We're not to eat flesh. So in your scriptures, when you see that you're making sacrifices to a God that loves the aroma of burning animal flesh, loves for you to sprinkle the blood on the altar and all of these things, you need to understand what that is. A lot of you people that come against me with no knowledge of what you're talking about. You don't know that these are beings of the disagreeable. Okay? If you understand duality and polarity, then you understand what I'm talking about when I say disagreeables. You need to go and research Yaldabaoth, and I'll spell it Yaldabaoth, Yaldabaoth, and the Demurish. You need to research the archons and the Old Testament. You need to research these things. You need to stop mocking and seek for yourself, because the true creator the true energy force. Because of the way the planet, the universe is, there's a law that says like it's a law of disclosure, so to speak, something like that, where they have to tell you the truth. You have to be shown the truth. You can't just be lied to and not have an option to select the truth. You got to make a decision. That's how it works. So that's where I come in, and that's where many people who I guess they will call the elect, but that's not really what we are. And we sent to kind of show you the truth. And once you see the truth, it's not up to us to convince you. People come on my post and they want to argue. People come on my post and they want me to prove to them. I don't have to prove nothing. I'm here to give you the meat, and I'm not going to chew the meat for you. You can look these things up, because what happens is as you seek, you become conscious. You have to seek it out. You have to seek it out. You have to dig it out. You have to find the truth if you want it. That's where a lot of you get confused. I'm not here to convince you of anything. People come on my post with bad attitudes, and because what I'm saying is so different from what they've been told and what they've learned. Well, that's the trick of the Matrix. I've told you before that the Matrix is a program. The Bible, the Quran, and all your religions are sub-programs within the program. You don't have to believe nothing I say. You don't have to believe anything. I'm going to put the link to this video, and what I suggest is that you go back and that you look at all of them, that you understand exactly what this matrix is, and you understand exactly who you are in this matrix, who the creators of the matrix are, what was the point in creating your religion. It's all for your demise. A lot of people don't understand that. All for your demise. The man will tell you they created this prison planet to be a slaughterhouse, because they feed off of you. You are the fuel that fuels them, the life force that they have to draw upon, that they have to draw from in order to keep living. There's two entities that are tied here. They can't leave. One are the Luciferian Draconians, and I can't remember the name of the other name of the other entity family, but they're stuck here. And so since they're stuck here, they want you to be stuck here with them too, because if you're not stuck here, then they have no energy. They have no life force. Again, the God particle. Go Google God particle and CERN and see how they're digging for and looking for this particular life force that only black people have. Just because you're black, you can be dark as night and not have the God particle, because the God particle is in your head. It's the melanin. It's inside. It's the melanin. Excuse me. It's inside. And just because you're dark skinned doesn't necessarily mean you have what it is they're looking for. This is where your DNA testing and all of this comes in. They need to pinpoint exactly who's who. So I implore you, stop taking those tests, because you're gonna make yourself a target. I don't know how else to tell you guys that, but I'm going to put the link to this particular video. I suggest you go back and look at all of them. It's several of these videos. I suggest you go back and look at all of them, and so that you can see that everything that you've been taught is backwards and flipped upside down. The God in the Bible is not the true creator. He is the creator of this material world. He did not create the earth, but he created the material world, which is the merge, or the matrix, and it's based off of ego, lust, greed. All of those negative energies is what keeps this matrix running. And when you operate in those lower vibrations, you empower them. They draw power from all of that. They draw power from your worship, which the true creator does not require worship, because he is, I said he, but he's not an, he or she does not have a gender. And he does not need your worship or any of that, because he is pure energy. When you give something your worship, you give it your power, you give it your energy. The true creator doesn't need that, because he's pure energy. I hope that makes sense. So, I think that's all I have to tell y'all. I'll be going off of Facebook soon, because my mission about to end. Y'all done heard everything that you can hear, that you need to hear. You've been equipped with the truth. Now you heard the truth. You know, you've been raised up on the lie. You hear the truth, and it's up to you to decide whether you're going to back up out of those religions. All those religions are, you're bound. People always want to ask me, well, Monet, what is it that you believe? What God do you serve? I serve no God. I serve no God. You should not serve any God. Well, what is your belief system? I believe in spirituality, because that is what's governed by the universe. The universe is governed by specific laws. African spirituality is one of those. And because God is within you, you're not supposed to give outside worship to any being, any man on a cross, or any of that. I've showed you several times in the scriptures where those stories are allegories. A lot of them are based on science. A lot of them are based on astrology. A lot of them are based on sacred geometry. A lot of those things. You can see, look at that, gospel, gospel. Look at that. So you have to come up out of that. Everybody won't make it. And that's why I say when I make my posts are for specific individuals. People who have that encoded in their DNA. When they hear or they read my post, it resonates. It's a familiarity. It resonates with the truth that's been locked away in their DNA. Not the truth that's been taught to them through the scriptures or through sermons done by their pastors. If it's in you, you'll recognize what I'm saying, and you'll begin your search to come up out of that bondage. Because titles, if you call yourself a Hebrew, you call yourself a Christian, you know, if you say, well, I'm black and I'm white and I'm this and I'm that, you have all these titles. Titles are binding. Titles are what binds you to the matrix. And they want you, this is why they separated all of the melanated people, and they have you thinking, oh, I'm this, I'm that, you're African, you're this, you're that. All these different titles when you all the same. Again, there's some beings here that have a God particle. They have a different type of DNA. But for the most part, everybody's the same. When you start splitting up like that and making yourself different or better than that one, and especially you Hebrews are really terrible for that. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I had to come through that too. Because I was sitting here to have the human experience so that I could explain it better. You know, I had to get in it, experience it, see the error, get out of it so that I can teach the error. And then I can teach or show you where the error is against the truth. That's why people say, well, oh, it seemed like you was on this a year ago and now you're this. And it seems like people get mad because you're coming up out of confusion. But consciousness, in order to get to true consciousness, you're going through, there's layers. You have to understand that this matrix has 13 different layers of illusion. Okay, so it's designed so that when you start waking up, you're going to wake up out of one and immediately be in another. And so you'll think that you done found the truth and you'll stay there for a little bit, but you are supposed to elevate up out of each one of those layers of illusion. I said in my post before, If you the same person believing the same things that you was believing 5 years ago, they got you trapped. Don't be mad at somebody elevating. Don't be mad at somebody learning and changing. That's a progression. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be elevating higher. What you knew 5 years ago, you should not be on that same stuff today. You should not be. You should be learning, and you should be looking for the truth. Something, when you're reading something, it's one day something should click and say, hey, wait a minute, it's more that I need to be learning. It's more that I should be looking for. And as you dig, you become more and more conscious. But for you people who don't want to hear the truth, you kind of shut your ears and say, no, Jesus, he's my God. Jesus is my God. That's exactly what it's going to be. He's going to be your God, and you're going to follow him up into that cloud where you're going to be eaten. And you're going to be bloodlet. And they're going to use your body. They drive your body just like a vehicle. They're going to use your body. And they're going to come back down here as if they're returning. And they're going to come, and if your family members didn't go, they're going to convince your family members to go to heaven with them. And when they get up in that ship, they also going to be eaten. Revelations 19:17, or what did I say? Yeah, 19:17, and it's also mentioned again in the Old Testament. Just so you know, they got something for y'all Hebrews too. I believe it's in Ezekiel, and if I find the scripture, I'll put it in there. But it's the same thing, where they're gonna call all the fowl that fly in the mid-heaven. Mid-heaven is outer space. That is your atmosphere right above the earth, which is where all your entities dwell. A lot of your entities of the disagreeables. And they're going to call them all together, and they're going to say, eat. Have your fill. Eat. From the kings down to the kids. They're going to eat y'all. So again, that's my message. And I'll be going off of Facebook soon because my mission is ending. I have another prospect. I have something else. My focus has to turn now towards my people. You had the opportunity to hear the truth. I pray you heed it.